And here we go. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining. So hope you guys are doing well. I know that everyone's dealing with a ton right now. There's a lot of craziness. There's what's an essential service, what's not. Many of you are now, full-time real estate agents and full-time homeschooling teachers. There's a lot of there's still a lot out there. And so what I believe like all of you guys need is two things. I was literally just talking with my coach about this. I think everyone needs two things. You guys all need a hug. Like you just need a virtual hug, and you just need to like know that it's okay and we love you and we're here from you. And pardon my French, but you also need a kick in the ass. We all need both because there's more than ever excuses that we can grab onto to not do our job. And so and there are legitimate excuses. I mean, I have people on my team whose spouses have been diagnosed with COVID-19. I have people on my team that are only parents trying to run full-time homeschool with 3 kids. And I mean, there are many, many excuses out there that you can legitimately grab, and no one's going to blame you for saying like, there's a lot going on right now. And I just decided I can't do it. Right. There's a lot of legitimate excuses out there right now. And a committed, motivated person finds a way, doesn't find an excuse, right? And so you're gonna have a million reasons to have excuses, and you guys have every opportunity to keep growing and keep thriving and just keep pushing on your business. Here's the one thing I want to encourage you with. It does not matter whether you've been in real estate for 40 years or whether you've been in real estate for 6 weeks. No real estate agent alive in America, maybe in other places, but in America, has built their real estate business and dealt with a pandemic before. No one has ever dealt with a pandemic before. Like, we've dealt with shifts, we've dealt with weird things, we've dealt with like 9/11 and things that are kind of weird and one-off like this, but no one has ever had to do their business in a pandemic before. That should encourage you. That should let you know that there's no reason why you can't become the foremost expert at real estate in this market. And so we have every opportunity to jump out there and to thrive in this market. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what Relevate is doing to thrive in this market. Okay, what we have been doing to not just survive but thrive. And if you dive into Shift, or you maybe have heard this a lot, like when things are kind of get crazy and when everything's changing, when you know like it's not business as usual, there's 2 phases. First, there's a survival phase. That's you building a fence around your business, around your budget, around your money. That's you saying like, all right, what do I need to do to make sure, like, if my income drops, like my family can still eat and we can still pay our mortgage? And what do I need to do so that my business survives even if our closings drop? Like, the first thing you do is you figure out, how do I survive? Like, how do I get by in this crazy environment? And then the second phase is thrive. The second phase is like looking around, auditing the fact that, hey, I'm surviving. Now, what can I do to take advantage of this market and really like take to the next level? So one of the things that we found in real estate, one of the things that we found is an opportunity for us to thrive is what we've built, or what we've built as our virtual home buying program. So I'm going to I think I've showed this before in a call, but I'm going to pull it up again and kind of talk through it. And then I'm going to go deeper on the 2 things that I think we want to talk about a little bit more today, which is virtual home consultations, like appointments with buyers or sellers. How do you do that virtually? And then showings. How would you do that? So let me pull up this document for everybody, and I will show what we have made here. All right. Okay, actually, I'm going to download it, and then that'll be easier for you guys to see it. All right, so for you guys to know, so I think we can all kind of agree, like, stuff kind of hit the fan Wednesday night, the 11th. So I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys have been keeping track, that seems like decades ago, but Wednesday, March 11th is when NBA paused their season for the rest of the season. That was late that night. And that was when I think everyone was like, oh, this is going to be serious. And then quickly that next day, spring training canceled, NHL canceled, MLB pushed back. Like, it was those next 2 days that then everyone started realizing, even if we think this virus is real or not, like, the repercussions are going to be real, right? And then both have been proved to be, obviously, it's a very real threat, and the repercussions are very real as well. And so Wednesday night, the 11th, kind of all this sort of hit the fan. And then by Saturday, we had this marketing piece designed, and we pushed it out to our entire database by the next Tuesday. So that just shows you, like, you need to move and act fast and, like, adjust quickly to this market. So let me pull up this marketing piece. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see this. All right. Can everyone see this little marketing piece here? Okay. So the first thing that we recognized is we need to talk to our people, talk to our sphere, talk to our leads that we're working with about everything that's going on. But what do we want to say? You know, like, how can we kind of brand this in a way that like is good for us and good for them? And so we realized instead of being another company that just sends out, like, here's how we're handling this coronavirus. And basically every company was like, we're cleaning more, you know, and that was like basically what every company was saying. Well, Relevate was like, how can we really brand this as like a unique and thing that may never go away? And so we decided we were going to brand this as our virtual home buying program. And so I kind of sat back and I audited, you know, the reality is every aspect of the real estate transaction I've already done virtually for clients. In fact, I've done the whole transaction virtually for clients who just couldn't come out, like military buyers that aren't able to make the trip because they just can't afford to come out before they have to PCS, or corporate relocators that just don't have the time to come. I have helped buyers buy 100% virtually. I myself have purchased property without ever stepping foot in the home before I closed on it. And so no matter what your mindset is about this, be careful to not project your own objections onto other buyers and sellers. There are plenty of people out there who would and have and do buy homes without ever stepping foot in the property. I'm not saying that this is what's right for everybody. I'm not saying you should push this on everybody. But what I am saying is, even if you think it's a bad idea, there are plenty of buyers out there who have no problem with this. And so when we hit a shift and when things get crazy, it is not our job to, like, motivate everyone into buying. It's just going to be impossible. It's our job to find the motivated, right? And so it's your job now to just find the people who are still ready, willing, and able and excited about purchasing or selling, and then doing whatever you can to help them do that, right? So if people are ready, willing, and able to buy, but they literally can't leave their house because they're quarantined, what can you do to help them make sure they can still purchase? And that's what we did with this. So here's what we realized. Every step of the process can be virtual, right? First of all, we'll schedule a virtual appointment to learn what you're looking for and make a game plan to get what you want. There's absolutely no reason why our appointment can't shift from being at the office or being at a coffee shop to being over Zoom. So primarily what me and my team have been doing is we've been shifting our appointments to Zoom calls. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So we can do a Zoom call. That'll be our appointment. Next, we've always done this virtually. We don't have to sit down in a room together for you to look through listings. I'll just email you over some listings, and you can look at that, and we can communicate over email or phone call about these homes and what you like and what you don't like. But the next thing that we've already been doing for clients who couldn't get out there, but a lot of people haven't done this before, you don't have to go walk through the property if you don't want to. I can do a virtual video tour of the home. I can walk through the home, show you the good, bad, and the ugly, and you can get a better sense of the home outside of just the fancy marketing photos that the agent or the seller are taking to try to hide all the negative, right? So you can go do this, and I'll talk again about how we're doing that and the technology we're using there. It's already been true that all of the documents can be signed electronically. That's what CTME is there for. That's what dot loop is there for. You don't have to be in person to sign documents. Your earnest money can be a wire, and you could give more time for them to wire that, or they could mail the check from their house to the title company via regular mail or certified mail. Or there are title companies out there like Jet Closing who will actually send a representative of the title company to go pick up the earnest money check from the client. Or you can go pick up the earnest money check from the client. So there are ways where the client does not have to leave their house to deliver earnest money. It's already been true that inspectors do 50-page inspection reports with detailed photos and descriptions, it's not really necessary for a client to be there because we don't know what we're looking at. It's honestly probably, inspectors probably prefer the clients not to be there so they can just do their job and send the reports over. So the clients don't have to be there at the inspection. There'll be plenty of detail in what's going on. And then now, not only can you do a mobile notary to go to your house and help you sign, but Colorado has just approved virtual notaries, where you don't even have to have a mobile notary in your house. You can literally sign the documents notarized virtually. So your closing has always been able to happen at your house and can happen even easier at your house now. And if you still don't want to leave your house, I will bring the keys to you and deliver them to your door. Right? So this is a virtual home buying program. All this has already been possible, but telling buyers that you can do this, and this is something that you're allowed to help them with, and that you can do this, is just showing them that there's other options for them. So this is a big thing that we've been kind of pushing to our clients, letting them know we have this virtual home buying program. And the other thing I think is really, really important is you guys have to be so careful with your wording around these things. You believe in your mind and you communicate verbally that virtual home buying is a backup option. It's like not as good as regular, but like it's what we can do right now. Your buyers will also believe that. But if you believe that this is a legitimate option that they may prefer and may actually be choice number one for them, not choice number two, then your clients may suppose that as well. So this is we have put multiple people under contract in the past couple of weeks that have never seen the property, where the entire transaction happened 100% virtually, from appointment to showing to inspection. We put multiple people under contract in this scenario the past couple of weeks. They're out there. And so right now in a shift, your job is to find the motivated, not necessarily motivate the unmotivated. It's not your time to come up with some script about why like coronavirus isn't a big deal and you should buy anyways. Like that's not your job. You shouldn't be doing that. What you should be doing is asking people how they're doing. And if they're still motivated and excited to buy, find a way to help them buy, right? So what I want to go deeper on today is the appointments and the showings, because I think that's kind of the beginning of the process. That's the part of the process you guys are probably most unfamiliar with. And quite honestly, who cares about doing earnest money virtually or an inspection virtually if you don't have active clients right now? So we need active clients in order to care about the rest of the process. So I want to talk about those things. But before I do, I'm curious if you guys if you have questions already about that virtual home buying document that I showed you. You can either unmute yourself and ask your question, or you could type something in the comments if you want to. If you guys have questions about that kind of virtual home buying program or like our initial reaction, I can answer that now. Otherwise, I'll dive into appointments and showings.
I wanted to share real quick, Tyler. You talked a little bit about finding the motivated and making sure that you're supporting them. And I'm going to put a plug in here. I have a very awesome story about the motivated that I'm going to share at the team meeting today about how you can find your motivated people and how we did that here at Keller Williams, the PC program. So come to the team meeting.
Also, this house that you see behind me, we moved here 3 years ago, and we never stepped foot in the house. When we closed was the first day. We closed a day early, so July 3rd, and we had never stepped foot in the house. I was not surprised by anything I found. It felt the same. Everything was the same. So I just want to like piggyback on what you said, Tyler. You've been able to do it this entire time. Mm-hmm. It's really not anything, super crazy or out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. My problem is that my buyers, I told them about the virtual tours and all those things, and they don't want it because we did it the second time when we were looking at houses. They saw the virtual tour and they were so excited about the house. So we went there and it looked really nice. When we were there, it was a piece of crap. I mean, it was trash everywhere, the carpet, the walls. So now because they experienced that, they don't want to do the virtual.
Yeah,
they want to see the houses.
Two thoughts for you, Patty. When I mean virtual home buying showings, I do not mean trusting the listing agent's marketing. I do not mean looking at a Matterport and buying it that way. I mean you going to the house without the clients, taking a video as you're walking around and telling them about all the trash and the crappy things about the house and being honest about what the house looks like, and then trusting you and your wording versus the listing agent's marketing. So,
Okay.
and the second thought is, if they're not comfortable, they're not comfortable. Like, again, our job is not to force virtual home buying on someone who doesn't want it. Our job is to find the people who have no problem with it and work with them right now.
Okay. Okay.
And so,
yeah, another thing, I was in another class, I think at the SMEDRA, and they were saying that we cannot do that. We cannot videotape the house unless we have the okay from the owner.
sure.
And that's been a lot of problems before. So they say, don't videotape it and just show it, because your clients are going to show it to the rest of the world, and the owner is going to get pretty upset.
Sure. So
we
there's
have to ask them.
there's a way around that as well, which is quite simply just asking permission. So what I would do, and like there, I don't see any reason why a seller wouldn't agree to this. If you said, hey, listing agent, I just want you to know my showing is going to be a virtual video tour. We want to do our best to protect the health of my clients and your clients. I'd like there to be as few amount of people in the property as possible. So I'm going to do a FaceTime, or I'm going to do a virtual video tour where they're just going to be looking at it over video to limit the traffic of people in your house. Are you guys okay with that?
Okay.
And as long as they say yes, then you're good. And I don't understand why a listing agent wouldn't be okay with that, knowing you are literally trying to work not only in the best interest of your clients, but their clients as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, good questions. Good questions. Okay, let's dive in, just because I think that this will answer a lot of those questions as we go through. So the two main things I want to talk about is virtual home buying appointments and then virtual showings. And so what I want to kind of help people to see is it's not business as usual, and it is business as usual. Like everything's different and everything's the same. And so what I mean by that is whenever you guys would be asking for appointments normally, just ask for a virtual appointment. And so whenever you're having conversations with potential buyers or sellers, just let them know, hey, given everything, we've got some more options for appointments. So if you still want to meet in person, great. We can meet at my office. We can still talk. Or if you prefer, I have a virtual home buying program where we can just do a Zoom video call and do our appointment that way. If you prefer to kind of stay home, those are the options that we have. So what would you prefer, and what works best from a timing perspective? So I think you just need to be good about offering both options. Right now, given the stay-at-home order, real estate is still an essential service. You're still allowed to do appointments as part of a real estate transaction if they want to. So you can still book an appointment with clients. But I think you can offer the virtual option right up front, because the fact of the matter is they may prefer that. And so I think what's really, really important is that you offering a virtual appointment is not just a response to an objection, but is proactively offering something you think is a unique piece of value to them. So what I mean by that is you don't wait to bring up virtual appointment until the client says, nah, I don't want to do an appointment right now, given all that's going on. So like if you say, hey, let's meet and let's talk about real estate and let's get things going. No. You know what? I given everything, I don't really want to go or leave my house or meet. Well, then if your response then is trying to handle their objection and saying, well, I totally get that. We could still do a virtual appointment, like just virtually over video. They've already presented an objection. They've already gotten in their mind that it's a no. So now you're trying to work them backwards from a no. But if you can offer virtual home buying, like virtual appointment, before they've ever objected, it's going to be easier to get them to a yes. So instead of offering in person, let them object and then offer virtual, just let it be part of your vocab with everybody right now. Say, hey, I think probably what makes most sense for you is for us to chat a little bit further, for us to sit down and just kind of answer all your questions about the home buying process, and to make a game plan to make sure you get what you want. So for right now, I can either do that virtually over video. We can hop on a Zoom call. That way you don't have to leave your house, and we can just connect virtually, or we can still meet at my office if you prefer, and let's do that. And so then just offer both options and just say, hey, which one of those sounds better to you? So that would be my suggestion right now in setting up those virtual appointments. The other thing that I'm realizing is, whether we realize it or not, a video Zoom appointment is less painful to a client than like a in-person appointment. What I mean by that is there's less they have to do. I don't have to leave my house. I don't have to like, get ready and go out in public. I don't have to put pants on. I don't have to do anything, right? I just stay home and I can just talk over video. I can be in my house. My kids are still here running around and it's fun, right? So I realized that not only is a Zoom appointment a great idea for anyone that wants an appointment right now, we can ask that earlier on in the process. When someone may not have been willing to leave their house and go meet with you in person, they may be willing to go ahead and jump on a Zoom call because why not? I have nothing to lose. And for you, you have nothing to lose. If they no call, no show, or they ghost you, like, well, you never left your house, so who cares? And so it protects you and your time and protects their time too. So I would encourage you guys to not only ask and bring up virtual appointments when you normally would, but ask for them sooner. And you can brand them differently. So I've branded these appointments a couple different ways. Brand it as you normally will. Hey, let's do a buyer appointment. Let's do a consultation. Only difference is it'll be over video, so you don't have to leave your house. So you can brand it that way. Or brand it differently. Say, you know what? We're all stuck at home. I'm bored like everyone else. So something I've thought of that I can do to help buyers and sellers right now is I'm doing 15-minute Q&A sessions over video, where we just hop on video for 15 minutes and I answer any and all of your questions about real estate. So even whether you're not like trying to buy right now or not, if you got real estate questions, I got time. Let's jump on a Zoom video and answer your questions. And so you could even like not brand it as appointment or consultation, just brand it as a 15-minute Q&A session. Who's not like okay with jumping on a video call right now and just hearing an expert in real estate answer their questions about real estate? You don't have to be buying right now. You don't have to be buying ever, but let's get your questions answered. And then for the most part, you could just progress and do your buyer appointment as normal. And it's, and you're still getting a consultation and still progressing that way. So there's something there. Let's see, what other questions do you guys have about like the virtual consultation? Like I could walk through like my whole process for appointment, but I will tell you that like within the appointment, my appointment is not any different than what it normally would be. So my appointment is still the same appointment I have in person. And so when I do an appointment, it's very simple. There's 4 phases to it. Phase number 1, tell me what you're looking for, and let's describe your perfect house. So they're telling me their criteria, describing their perfect house, and as they're doing that, I'm asking follow-up questions to them. I'm auditing what they love and what's best at. And then I'm asking follow-up questions. So when they say I got 4 bedrooms, I want 4 bedrooms, I'm saying, oh, great, 4 bedrooms. Do you have kids, right? So as you're figuring out their search criteria, that's your chance to learn more about them. You're building rapport. So section 1 is asking what they're looking for in a house, and while you're doing that, you're building rapport. Section 2 is quick 30 seconds, tell about yourself. What's your unique value proposition? Hey, just so you know, I'm on a team. That doesn't mean you're going to get bounced around to a bunch of different people, but it does mean that you're never schedule. So, if I'm busy and you need to see a property, there's 10 other people that are going to show it to you. That's my 30-second elevator pitch, but you guys may have a different one. For you, it may be, hey, just so you know, communication is key to me. So whether there's an update or not an update, you'll always know that from me, right? So you have a 30-second elevator pitch. That's part number 2. And then what you're going to do is you are going to then literally have a time where you just say, what questions can I answer for you, right? So you're going to say, what question do you have about the home buying process? And you're going to answer those questions. And so that's where, like, even if you brand it as a Q&A, it's perfect because I already did that. What questions do you have? And most likely they'll ask about the financials. They'll ask about the timing. or they'll ask about the market, and be prepared with answers in those three things. And then section 4 is pretty simply next steps. I'm going to send you some properties. Here's our next step, right? And so I'm not going too deep into the appointment itself because it's the same home buying appointment class that I teach every month, but you're just doing it over Zoom. So the same 4 sections. Now, if you're taking my home buying class, you may have questions on those 4 sections. So I'm going to remind you again of what the 4 sections are, and then ask me what questions you have. So section 1, I'm asking what they want in a home. Describe your perfect property to me. And as they're describing their perfect property, I'm asking follow-up questions to build rapport and to make a connection with them personally. I give a quick 30-second elevator pitch about me and my value proposition. Section 3 is what questions you have about the home buying process, and I answer any and all their questions, most likely about financials, timing, and the market. Section 4 is next steps. I'm going to send you properties. I'm going to let's schedule showings. We'll go from there. So that's what that actual appointment looks like. Pretty simple. What questions do you guys have about the appointment itself? Because many of you may not have taken my home buying class. So yeah, what questions can I answer about the appointment itself for you? You can type in chat or you can unmute.
When you're doing your regular non-virtual ones before this all happened, did you come prepared with any kind of like physical, like maybe pictures of properties? And if so, how do you overcome that in a virtual setting?
Yeah, so what I came prepared with was a folder, and what the folder has in it, I'm going to pull it up so you guys can see it. The folder has my my home buyer's guide in it, basically. And so let me see if I can find it so that I can pull it up for you guys. I have it's a 4-page document, I believe, and it has. Here we go. I'll pull it up right now. That way you guys can see it. Okay. Let me share. All right. Let me pull this up. Okay. So can you guys see this right here? Move this out of the way. So this is the home buyer's guide that I bring.
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, so the first page is the title page. And then the next page is about timeline. So what I typically bring is this is a folder with this document in it. And I don't give it to them or bring it out until we ask the questions. So until I say, what questions do you have about the home buying process? Because I know that 90% of the time, their questions are going to be about one of these 3 things: timeline, costs of purchasing, or making a strong offer is essentially the market. And so then when they say, all right, well, the first question I have is like, how much is that earnest money thing and how much money do I have to bring for that and all that? Then I'm going to say, hey, great question. I actually built this document that answers that question. And so I'm going to go to page number 3, costs of purchasing, and I'm going to walk them through it. All right, here's what down payment looks like. Here's what closing costs look like, inspection, appraisal, earnest money. And then if they ask about the crazy market, hey, here's what it looks like to write a strong offer in a multiple offer situation. And then if they ask about timing, how long does this take? I'll pull up this page timeline. So you can still do that virtually. You can either email them a copy of this before the appointment, or you can do what I'm doing right now. Pull it up, share your screen, show it to them, and kind of talk through that. But my favorite thing is the Q&A session because I already know what questions they're going to ask. And so when I say, what questions do you have about the home buying process, I already have 3 documents literally that I've built that answers the questions I know they're going to ask. So I can say, get that document out, and it's going to answer your question. So good question. Any other questions about that? What I actually do within the home buying appointment? Cool. Okay. I think someone else have something? No, that's good. Okay. I think what most of you need to hear is not necessarily how to make your home buying consultation better right now. I think what most of you guys need to just hear is that whatever you're doing, just do it over Zoom. Like, do it virtually. offer the Zoom call. Zoom is free if you keep the meeting under 40 minutes. So if you think that you'll keep the consultation under 40 minutes, it's free. If you don't think you'll keep it under 40 minutes, you can get a paid account, which I think is like 20, 30 bucks a month, something like that. It's pretty cheap. And then what I'm going to do is when I confirm the appointment, I just send them the Zoom call link. I say, hey, you can join me here at this link at the predetermined time, and we're good to go. So I think the main thing you guys need to hear about the appointment is do it virtually. Push for it not as an objection to them not wanting to meet in person, but proactively offer it. There will be people who are willing to meet in person but would prefer to do it virtually. And third, because the virtual appointment is less painful than an in-person appointment, push for it sooner. Ask for it quicker than you would normally ask for it. More people will be willing to do it than what you think. So that's my virtual home buying process there. So virtual home buying appointment. What questions do you guys have just about the virtual appointment as a whole? Any questions about the technology you're using, about how I set it up, about how I make sure they get there, anything about the appointment side of it itself, and then I'll move on to the showing side of it. Cool. Okay. All right. So the next aspect of this is showings. So I think that even though we're an essential service and we are allowed to show properties, it is our responsibility and our job to try to limit as much as possible the amount of people you're bringing through other people's houses. That not only is best for your client's health, but that's best for your health, and that's best for the seller's health. So one thing that I would offer, again, every single time is, hey, let me know if you want to take a look at that property. I can either do a virtual video walkthrough for you where I take a video and you can join me live or you can watch it after the fact, or we can still meet there in person, whatever works best for you. So in the same way that I offer up the appointment and I let them know kind of here's the a la carte of choices you can choose from, I can do a video walkthrough where I take a video and you watch it live or watch it after the fact, or we can still meet in person and take a look at the property. Just offer the choices up front. Let them choose what's best for them. Don't assume that the buyer's preference is in person, because I have buyers I'm working with right now that their preference is not in person. And honestly, not even just because of all the coronavirus stuff, but because they'd rather me just record videos and them not have to leave their house, and they're 100% confident with the videos I'm sending over. So don't assume, don't project on them that like, well, I'll record a video, but I know you'll want to see it in person before you actually buy. Like, just like Gretchen said, just like I said, like people buy without looking at properties. Not everyone will be comfortable. Some people will say, I need to see it in person, and that's fine. And they could see it during the showing, or they could see it come inspection time if they want to do that too. But offer up front, I can take a virtual video walkthrough for you, or we can see in person. What would you prefer? So in the same sense where a client expresses interest in a property, or you see that a client's looking at a property, you're going to proactively reach out to them unless they've reached out to you. And your script is going to be, hey, I saw you had interest in 123 Main Street. I would love to show that property to you. I can either take a virtual video walkthrough for you, or we can look at it in person. What would be your preference? So offer both of those. And you'll realize that, again, because virtual showings are less painless or less painful than in person, more people will be willing to do it. So, for example, I had a client that tried to cancel on me this past weekend. We had showing scheduled for Sunday, and we were going to go look at 2 properties. And they emailed me earlier that day, and they said, hey, you know what? I appreciate it, but we are actually not going to be available today. I've not been feeling great, and so I don't want to get out of the house, but I appreciate you being willing to do showings for me. And I said, hey, I totally get that. Stay home, recover, feel better, and I can record a video for you if that's easier. That way you don't have to leave your house. And so they took me up on that, recorded the video, talked through stuff that way instead. And they had no objections to any of the video or anything I walked them through. So that's what I would do to offer the showings. and then here's your best practice for the showings themselves. So 3 pieces of technology I would recommend you use if you're doing these virtual showings. I would recommend you choose one of these 3. So first and foremost, my favorite piece of technology to use for virtual home buying is Marco Polo. So Marco Polo is an app that you can download on your phone for free. Your client can download the app for free. And it's essentially a video walkie-talkie. So I record a video to you, it sends to you, you can record a video back to me, or I can just keep recording videos to you. Marco Polo notifies you when someone's recording a video, so you can watch that video live as they're recording it, or it saves it in the app so you can watch it later. So the other thing I love about Marco Polo is if you're in a bad service spot or it's a place where you don't have great service, I'm pretty sure you can still record video even if you don't have great service, and it just gets sent to them later. And the other thing you guys are going to realize is if you try to go in there and just take video on your phone and then just send them a big video file, I promise you that it is going to take you forever to send that video file. These video files are so big that it just takes forever to record a big long video file and try to send it. So Marco Polo sends it immediately, and you don't have to save a file and then send it on later. So Marco Polo is what I would recommend there. I actually have a sample video that I'm going to show you guys if I can find it. Actually, I might have deleted it. For the sake of space on my computer. Yeah, I think I deleted it. I was going to show a little video that I took via Marco Polo, but it's a pretty simple app, and I would recommend you guys use that. Again, clients can still watch it live, but they can also watch it later if they don't want to. So that's a great option for clients that cannot join the showing live, but are going to watch the videos later. And the other thing I was going to say about Marco Polo, I'm trying to remember. The other thing I would recommend if you're using Marco Polo is don't record one long video, record several short videos. Because what happens is it's a video walkie-talkie, so they cannot interact with you live in Marco Polo. But if you record several short videos and they are watching it live, they can send you a video while you're recording the next one saying, hey, had some questions about that first video. So it allows for some live interaction. So what I would recommend if you're using Marco Polo, take a video of the outside of the house, stand in the street, show a video of the entire outside, show the whole street, like show the whole neighborhood, show the neighbors, show all the houses. Walk to the side of the house, show them the sides, show them the front porch, show them the garage, show them the good, bad, and the ugly. You never get pictures of the neighbors. You never get pictures of the neighborhood. You never get pictures of the sides of the houses because people don't want to show you how close the next house is or whatever. Show all those things, and it is your job to be brutally honest. It is your responsibility to be brutally honest if you're showing something virtually over video. So it's not your job to say, oh, man, this looks great. This would be a great house. Say those things when those things are true. And be honest when honesty is necessary. So when it's necessary to say, hey, just letting you know, this driveway is a little cracked, or man, the house is a little close next door, but don't assume they're going to have an issue with that, but be honest with what you're seeing. And then what I do is I record a video of the outside, then a video on each level of the house, a separate video for each level of the house. So walk in the main level. If there's an upstairs, do the upstairs. If there's a basement, do the basement. And then that's several short videos. If they're watching live, that gives them a chance to respond and ask me questions. If they're not watching live, they'll let me know later. Okay? So first piece of technology is Marco Polo. You guys have any questions about Marco Polo that I can answer for you?
Nope.
Cool. See if I can show you guys the. This is what the app looks like right there. You kind of create different conversations with people. So this is a client where I sent them. At the bottom, you can see all the different videos down there. Those are all the different videos of the house that I took. So that's the app right there. Download it. It's free. So what I'll do is I'll just tell my client, hey, I'm going to send these videos over to you via Marco Polo. Download the app. It's free. And then even if they have not downloaded the app yet, you can still send the videos to their number, and then once they download the app, they'll be able to view it. So you can still type in their phone number and then send the videos to their phone number, and when they download the app, they can view the phone. So even if they haven't downloaded it yet, you can get it over to them. So that's option number one. Option number two would be Zoom, what we're using right now. So I had a client 2 weekends ago that really wanted to be on the call with me, interacting as I go, because they wanted to be able to ask questions and tell me, hey, turn the camera that way. You know, they wanted more live interaction. So I set up a live Zoom call one-on-one. Again, probably no showing is going to go longer than 40 minutes, so you don't need more than a free Zoom account. Right? You send them the Zoom link, they can join. And the other good thing about Zoom is you can record the call. So if they want to go back and watch the video later, you can record the Zoom video and then send it to them after the fact so they can go watch it again. That's quite honestly even better than a normal showing, because how many times have you looked at a property or your client looked at a property and is like, man, I can't remember which one was the one that had the laundry there, which one was the one that had the cool backyard. And so now they can actually go back to the video and view it, and they'll be able to recap the homes after the fact together. So I like Zoom for the live interaction, and I like it for being able to record the call. It takes more data. It takes more connectivity to do it. So if you're up in the mountains or somewhere where you're not going to have great internet, like a Zoom call is not going to work. You're not going to be able to record it or then be able to get on it live. So Zoom would be the next piece of technology, what we're using right now. The last thing I would recommend, if you don't want to use Zoom, you don't want to do that, is FaceTime. So if they're an iPhone or an Apple user, then you can use FaceTime, but only if they're I'm pretty sure it's only if they're Apple or iPhone user. So that's why that's my third piece of technology I don't normally use, because it depends on them having the ability to do that. The good thing about it is you can just call their phone number as a FaceTime. They don't need any new app. They don't need anything. And then you can do a video call with them. The downside is they have to be, an Apple or an iPhone product. So that's how I'm doing virtual showings. One of those three pieces of technology. And just a couple rules of thumb I've already said. Be brutally honest when you're doing virtual showings. They're not there. We're their fiduciary. It's our responsibility to let them know what we are seeing that they may not be able to see over video. So for example, I did a showing this past weekend, and what I had to tell them is I had to say, just for you guys to know, this house has a very strong smoke and dog smell. And I know you can't smell that through the video, but you saw all the dog cages. It's got a really kind of strong dog smell and a little bit of a smoke smell. And I kind of described it like it doesn't smell like they smoked in, it doesn't smell like they smoked in the house, but maybe like they smoke in the garage and the residual smoke from their clothes is in the house. Like I described that to them because they're not going to be able to see that over video. And then generally I try to give a recap at the end. Hey, so just a recap, I think this one's, the condition's a little bit worse than the last one, but, here's the advantages and the disadvantages. You try to walk them through that. The other thing, Faith and Gretchen are saying, Facebook Messenger will work with Android and Apple. So Facebook Messenger is another way to do a video chat. Just as good as FaceTime if you have an Apple phone and client has Android. That's perfect. So, if you don't want to do Marco Polo, you don't want to do Zoom, Facebook Messenger is another option. That assumes they have that app or have Facebook, so that's a caveat for that one. But I use Facebook Messenger all the time with my wife and my kids, so video chat there. So there's another option as well. So that's solid. Okay, so I'm at the end of what I wanted to present in terms of like virtual appointment, virtual showings, virtual home buying program. I'd love to just open it up to say, what questions do you guys have in general right now? It could be questions about, what Relevate's doing right now. It could be questions about like the market in general or just information about what the market's doing. Could be about virtual home buying or whatever. But do you have any questions at all that I can answer for you? Just make sure you guys are surviving and thriving in the current market. You can type the question in chat or you can unmute yourself and ask it that way, whatever works better for you guys. What questions? Are you guys still talking with people who want to do business? Are you guys still seeing people out there that are wanting to buy and sell?
I know I definitely am, Tyler, and they're pretty open to the idea of doing virtual business. So, had a lot of success with that, so.
That's great. That's great. Yep. Yeah. I think my biggest aha like 2 weeks ago was there, regardless of the market, there's always people that need to buy and sell. Like no matter what's going on, if the market's tanking or whatever, like some people might be going through a divorce and just absolutely need to sell their house, or someone's relocating from another area and they absolutely need to buy, or someone's in a bad situation.
Their rental is about to be over and they have to move, like they don't have a choice because another renter has to get into that unit. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that still have to make a move, have to sell, have to buy.
Yep. And my encouragement to you guys is like, in this time, it is going to be significantly easier for you to find motivated people versus trying to motivate people who are unmotivated. So if you stumble upon someone who's like, they're scared and they just don't want to do things right now because they're nervous, like you can do your best to like handle objections about the market and say, hey, the market's still strong, stuff's still going well, but it's going to be easier for you to say, hey, I totally understand. I'll circle back around. What do you need from me? And then just go call 10 more people because someone is going to still be motivated. And so that's going to be easier now. Sam asks, how is Relevate lead generating outside of Sphere? So right now, what Relevate is doing from a lead generation standpoint outside of Sphere, and obviously with Sphere, we're calling through our Sphere, having honest conversations with them right now, being more diligent with our database than we've ever been before. And so we're removing passive marketing pieces to our database. We're having active phone conversations with them and just saying, how are you doing? Anything you need from me? Here's how I'm doing. Here's how real estate is. Outside of that, we are beginning to test command Facebook leads at a really, really high level. So we're running a lot of ads in command on Facebook and working those leads. We have some other leads that we run online through our CRM platform through Boomtown. So we're working some of those leads. We're going back to old leads in our pipeline that we've already paid for and cost us nothing, calling through those, being more diligent there. We're reaching out to FSBOs and expireds right now because if you're a FSBO, if you're expired, your plan if you're a FSBO, your plan just blew up. Like you don't know what the heck you're doing. And so we're reaching out to FSBOs and expireds and just asking them, hey, is your home still for sale? And saying, hey, is there anything I can do to help? Same thing with expireds. Hey, do you have any questions? Like given this current market. So we're reaching out to those people. And then we're part of some referral networks where we're still getting referrals, but I would say those would be our primary sources of business right now. Like with Command, you can go run an ad in Command and generate $2.50 leads for yourself in Command right now with like very little like knowledge, or there's videos you can go watch and do it. So like who's not okay spending, $10 and getting 4 or 5 leads and, whatever. So go spend $100 and go get a lot of leads. So that's something that we're testing right now is cheaper lead options. Basically, it's just a way for us to get a contact information of someone that's still looking right now. Running an ad is a great way to gauge who's at least still browsing. Because if they've clicked on our website or they clicked on an ad, they're at least still interested in real estate right now. So I can give them a call and say, hey, what's prompted you to start looking? Let's have a conversation. So that's where a lot of our stuff is right now. Good question. Any other questions for us or for Relevate or for virtual home buying or the market or anything like that? One thing I'll share with you guys what I thought is interesting, just kind of a quick market update. Relevate's looking at the market numbers every single week just to try to gauge like how are things going. You guys want to be able to stay on top of the real estate market to be able to answer honestly, like, is it going well? Is it not going well? And so what we've been gauging every single week is what does inventory look like? Like is total homes for sale going up or going down? And then days on market, is that rising? Is it dropping, right? If inventory is increasing and days on market increases, then we know that our market is slowly moving away from a seller's market, right? If days on market is staying the same or dropping, then we know at least for right now, homes are still selling quickly, right? And inventory is still getting gobbled up. So what we found in the past week is that inventory in the Denver metro area, week over week, this week compared to last week, is up about 10, 11%. So inventory is up about 10 to 12%, I think is what it was. So we have about 10 to 12% more homes for sale right now in the Denver metro area than we did last week. But ironically, days on market dropped. So days on market actually went down by like 8 or 9%. So for right now, there are more homes getting listed and more homes on the market for sale, but those homes are selling even quicker than they were before. So as of right now, homes are still selling fast, in fact, even faster than they were last week, but there are more homes for sale. So it's just something to watch. If inventory keeps going up, eventually days on market's not going to be able to keep pushing down. But for right now, when you guys say the real estate market is still hot, there's still a lot of homes getting listed and a lot of buyers are still buying, that's still true as of right now. So, any other questions? Anything else I can help with?
No, thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. If you guys have any kind of one-off questions or whatever, I'm here. Shoot me. I'm gonna type in the chat right now my email and my phone number in case you guys need to connect or reach out. And I'm here to answer any questions, to help you guys. If you guys want to have a one-on-one chat and say, "Hey, I'm nervous about my business. Help me figure out, what I need to do." Reach out. I'm here. I'm happy to help. We're in this together. You're here at Keller Williams because we all want to see each other succeed. So I'm here to help you. And if you need anything, let us know.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.